Yes, y'all. Welcome in to episode 136 of the Dumb Marks podcast. It's your boys, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, back at it again. Gentlemen, how we living? How we doing? Donald with the fresh fade.
Yeah, a little accident that happened last Saturday. So, yeah, my barber accidentally took the guard off and went up on the back of my head, and there was a streak. So, I had to cut it off.
Summer cut came early.
Yes, it did.
You're the only one out of the four of us that still has a decent hairline. So hold on to that while you can. As you can see, we all got hats on for a reason.
Be like Billy Madison. You gotta cherish it. Cherish it.
Yeah. But I always say whenever mine start going, I'm just gonna cut it off like my uncle did. Once it started falling out, he just like forget it. I'm not attached to it. Let's go. So I came to that conclusion.
I've never been
maintenance though. That shaving every week is too much. Keep the hat on. Let it get the George Jefferson going.
Mine came out of a barber mistake too, and I had to go down like bald skeezy because of the way he messed up. And after that, it was like, why am I trying to hang on to this? Like, the fade line kept getting further and further back. I think the main thing that when I knew to hang up the attempt to keep the line going was when they took the little Beijing spray bottle out and hit my corners, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. Can't do it no more. Wild out, yeah. I'm like, nah, I can't show up at this wedding with a Beijing. I'll get roasted. Yeah, get roasted.
Mutual friend of ours has said to me, he goes, I've known you since first grade. You've had the same hairline ever since.
Mine was a little longer than that, but no. So yeah, how we living? We good? Everybody feeling good?
Yes. Doing good. Shout out to my mom's birthday today, so shout out to her.
Shout out Mama Jobs. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Yep.
All right. So you got did you double up on Mother's Day and pull this is your Mother's Day and birthday gifts, or did you separate out? No.
It is rough, with hers being like always so close, like always around the same time, but
Now what we're not going to do today, Taquan, is start off with that, okay? Yeah. Too early for that shit, Ty. Right. I'm talking about want to see a dead body. This dude killed me in the first 3 minutes of the show. Man.
Guns are blazing.
All right.
Guns are blazing, yeah.
That's how we kick things off.
No doubt. Crappy rainy day here in the Berg, but we're not going to let that ruin the sunshine from this podcast. So, anything from your week y'all want to get into? No. Yeah, no. It was what it was from a week standpoint.
Was that an open-ended question? You need to talk about something?
No, it's just
okay.
This time of year, man, like May through June, weekend wise, like my calendar is so booked up between graduations, all this other BS. Like I'm gonna blink and it'll be July 1st, not knowing where the last 2 months went.
That's everybody, Taquan. A lot of people I know, that was their whole week.
How is it so far?
Well,
because I haven't heard too much about Zelda yet, the new one.
Me either.
We done sold out.
Did it?
I think Nintendo was the only people still having people waiting lines for actual games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like
everybody else is
yes.
Yeah. Everybody else is just like, fuck it. You're not waiting for Call of Duties or Madden no more. You waiting for the Zelda. You waiting for Mario.
What's going on, Nate?
Is that Nasty Nate?
Animal Crossing.
It is.
Slim Slater.
Over on Twitch today.
Yeah. That's Taquan comments.
Yeah, I haven't dived into the Zelda. Sold 10 million in 3 days. That's not real numbers. Is that real? Can we fact check that? We fact check that.
Yeah, I'll fact check. I'll look into that.
Yo, that's crazy.
Look,
I haven't played the Zelda game.
Deluxe edition was going for like 170, I think.
I did
sold them out.
I remember when they first announced it, and because that was all around the debate whenever Nintendo raised their game prices. So they were adding like the.
I think for Zelda they're gonna pay
170, bro.
They said 130 million units worldwide so far.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda's making money this week.
Yeah, 31 million in the U.S. alone the week of.
A lot of relationships going on the back burner. It used to be like the Madden and Call of Duty was causing breakups. Now
I don't know.
You got little Zelda out there knifing relationships in the back.
There's a lot of females that play the Zelda though.
Yeah,
that might be a couple game right there.
I haven't played any of this.
As long as you don't save over my save.
Yeah,
save over my save.
Make your own save file.
Yeah, you beat the game before me. We got issues.
It wasn't Zelda, but I watched that Super Mario movie this week. I really liked that.
I went to the theaters and saw it. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was good. Yes.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed that.
Did you stay for the post-credit scene?
Oh yeah,
I didn't because I had to get the dynamic duo out of there.
Jesus. He's pulling the Drago line. If she dies, she dies. He's out there.
So it's kind of like area codes. Whatever happens this week doesn't count.
I guess so. Man. All right. Well, you know how we do Saturday. Break down Mount Rushmore, Jabroni of the week in pro wrestling. Get into the week that was. Busy week. Busy, a lot of announcements. I saw a lot of hate going online this week for the AEW announcements.
Are you surprised?
People just can't enjoy, like, just take it for what it is, man. Like, nobody hates on the NFL and when they announce media rights deals or stuff like that. Like, I didn't see the NFL attacking the XFL for getting, games on Fox and ABC. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? You don't like the product, don't watch the product. But I don't understand the visceral, like, it was visceral hate coming this week.
I just hate the announcements.
The announcement that
I did see somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was, but they put Tony Khan has an announcement to announce the announcement for the next announcement. And I said, oh, that's like corporate America. You have the meeting to discuss the next meeting, to schedule the following meeting, to actually talk about the stuff that should have been covered in the first meeting. Like,
to actually plan the real planning meeting.
You're right. Yeah.
You know who has more personality? The laptop. I have an announcement.
Hey, everybody came at him whenever he used to come at guns a-blazing, and then he changed it up, and then everybody still shits on him. You can't please everybody, so you got to stop. Just do what you do.
And before we get into Mount Rushmore and then Jabroni, just real quick with the announcement, Saturday Night Collision, supposedly starting June 17th in Chicago, but the date has remained the same. It will debut June 17th. It's just the venue may change based on all the rumor and innuendo surrounding Ace Steel and CM Punk, as far as the negotiations coming to a standstill and Punk being firm in his stance as far as, I'm not coming back unless you hire Ace back, which whatever. You want to die on that hill for Ace Steel, that's on you. It's like Tom Brady bringing his magical B12 guru with him onto the plane with the Patriots, and Bill Belichick looking at him like, get this dude off this flight. What are you doing? But whatever. Do you think a Saturday night wrestling show in prime time will work?
For the diehard people who watch wrestling, yes. And especially during this time with sports, not much is happening on Saturdays. Especially during that time, NBA should be over with. NHL should be close to being over with. It'll just be baseball on, and then you have your typical, like your once here and there UFC fights and boxing fights. So in the beginning, yes. Now once college football starts running around, I think it's going to die.
Ratings wise, Rampage does terrible numbers in Friday night slot. right now. At least they have been recently. And I just don't see how you draw anything on a Saturday night starting late August through January.
Yes.
Like, I really don't. I know during that time for me personally, I won't be watching it live. I'll be watching college football. Like, and then when you get later on in the year, you have NFL playoffs on Saturday, you know, all that bull game. Like, that's a tall order to be tasked with. And I mean, I guess TNT has a lot of faith for putting them on primetime 8 to 10 on every single Saturday. I just don't see it being a valuable asset as far as getting eyes on the product for the company itself.
But if it works, then good for them.
What are they going to do when basketball starts back up again? You know, because sometimes basketball is at that 8 o'clock slot on Saturday. They're going to get bumped to midnight on Saturday?
Well, TNT doesn't have games on Saturday.
Oh, they don't?
Those games are on ABC.
Okay.
Playoffs, yes, they run the playoffs on Saturday. Depending on what conference it is, will show on TNT. But regular season games on Saturday nights, they're not putting those on TNT. That's an ABC deal.
You see, I'm not the NBA expert.
Yeah.
But when they do air them, yeah, they'll get bumped.
Well, yeah,
so I mean, maybe put on TBS, you know.
I'll get the first one, but my weekends are my weekends.
Very true.
My cap is Friday. I'd be so exhausted. I'm like, I need, unless it's a pay-per-view, PPL or whatever.
Pay-per-view.
Premium live event, yeah.
So, I mean, you're asking Collision to go up against WWE premium live events or pay-per-views. Yeah. So,
but at the end of the day, they need to give us a reason to tune in.
They say Trey's trying to trademark Black Machismo.
If you don't give a reason to tune in, that'll be where it'll be interesting to see what the ratings are for the show. If it's just another show, I don't know if people will tune in for it. But if Punk is your reason, and he doesn't end up joining arm in arm because MJF replaced him on the graphic because they haven't rumor. MJF replaced him on the graphic because they haven't found him. But the people that were announced on the show, Miro, Thunder Rosa, Andrade, FTR, Hobbs, those are all Punk's picks for his show. So Tony's acquiescing all this hair. You can have it, you can have it, you can have it, you can have it. And my man is still taking, and won't come along unless his best friend is there to walk him around the arena. I just like this whole thing just makes me sour on Punk even more. And I wish Pro was on the damn show today so he can comment about it. But like, realistically, if all this is being held up by CM Punk's demands, like he's Aaron freaking Rodgers going to the Jets and all that BS that came out about Rodgers demanding they sign Randall Cobb, Mercedes Luthers, all these people, everything else. If it's really that, like, to me, Punk is not that guy. So if Punk's your draw and he's your reason and he's not there, then it's a failed mission to begin with because you're banking everything on one person who's a 40-something-year-old wrestler. I think we can wrap this up. Donald, go ahead and say it.
Brother.
I was thinking it's all work, but
either works.
It's all work. And his brother also too. It sounded just like that. What do you mean you can't have Brutus on? You can't have me.
So are they gonna be exclusive? Or they just put that card for the lineup?
Rumor is there might be a draft.
Taquan, I will let that one slide in there. That's a weak attempt at getting Luigi Primo on the show.
No, you got to start over.
I will let it slide. I'll count that towards your tally.
But except for FTR and Hobbs, it's all people who have backstage heat of some sort. So is this where like, oh, you act up on the main show, you're getting bumped to Saturdays?
Instead of the Isle of Relevancy, you're going to go to the Isle of Misfits?
But then what do you do for pay-per-views? Everybody got to come together, right? Like, you're not doing dual-branded pay-per-views.
If FTR is on Collision, I don't want to see a tag match ever on Dynamite.
Well,
they got to
Young Bucks just can't have a tag match on Dynamite anymore. Nope. Lucha Brothers, nope, can't have a tag match.
No, because you just fight for no reason.
Well,
you just.
But that brings up a good point. If you have FTR on Collision, why don't you move your tag teams to Saturdays and feature them there, and then you can feature your trios on Wednesdays.
There you go. Have a reason to go watch. You move a whole division over.
Like, I'm okay with doing that way. Like, if you're gonna separate it and make it a hard split,
but
your main
all your trios or tag teams in a person.
So you get to appear on both shows.
Except for House of Black.
I mean, your main champions are going to float back and forth. That's just, it is what it is. Like, you're not going to be exclusive.
Which is the way it should be.
Right.
I mean, if Punk is exclusive, that means he's never holding the belt again. So I'm happy with
that. Until he brings in his own belt.
Oh, jeez. All right. Enough of this talk. We'll see how it plays out. I don't want to keep going down this rabbit hole.
We got a month until it actually happens.
It'll just get my blood pressure up, and we'll hop back into it once the
world belt.
Yeah, we'll get into it. You know, the Saturday of show.
We still have a month of rumors. This is going to be just the shits in the rumor mill for a month.
Yeah. So.
If our feed gets cut.
All right, Mount Rushmore. Let's get into the positivity of the week that was in pro wrestling. Mount Rushmore. What do you guys have for Mount Rushmore this week? Who wants to kick it off?
I'll go with that battle royal on Raw. I enjoyed it. It was something fun. I seen some new. You're already dismissing it. I seen some new storylines I'm interested in, so I'll go with that.
I was not expecting that to slide in on a Mount Rushmore this week. Are you doing which version of Mount Rushmore this week? Like generic? You're going like great value Mount Rushmore this week?
No, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
I was gonna say out of the week I just watched, that might be the week that it was though.
That was the week it was. I mean, unless you want me to put Solo's bump on there, and that was it.
All right, the battle royal.
Yeah, I'm interested to see JD and Ziggler. This presentation is JD is. I feel like it. I mean, it's the same as NXT, but it feels like it's presented differently.
Well, it's not the creep. It's not the creepy.
Yeah, it was more creepier on.
It's not that creepy. Almost
acupuncture.
Like, yeah,
it kind of came off like a little bit like a devil's advocate in that video package to me.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I immediately was like, saw the low like glance between him and Finn, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Is that the new Judgment Day member, JD? Like it just, and Finn trained him, so it's like a natural.
Yep.
Natural fit.
I'm bored.
You know.
And I do like the booking of the call-ups. So.
We'll touch on that. They completely ruined
booking of the call-ups.
They completely ruined one person, which is strongly going to be in consideration for my jabroni of the week. There he is.
That's
actual
Selena.
Yeah. the original.
I like Selena Gomez too.
Oh, I love Selena Gomez.
Oh.
All right, so we got the battle royal storylines from
Pro
Raw.
Came way too late for this story today.
No, that's good. Pro missed all that. He can go back on replay and check out the beginning because
I'm interested to see Bronson and Ricochet go at it, and Riddick Moss had a nice little showing, even though he's just a ball of energy. I don't know what else he can do other than that.
All I heard in that sentence was jobber, 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 jobber.
I don't think Ricochet and Bronson are jobbers.
No.
I don't think Ricochet is one, but they sure do treat him like one sometimes.
Well, I think he's on Raw though, right? So I mean, you got Raw, like I said. That 2% milk talk one.
This show took a turn.
Yep.
Mars, what up, Mars?
Oh wow.
Oh man.
So yeah, all right. All right. So Battle Royal job. Okay. Oh wow. All right. Who's next for Mount Rushmore?
I'll send it over to AEW land.
That's
the only thing that I've really enjoyed this week on that show was the ending. Was Hangman came back and actually felt like business picked up a little bit in that segment.
You know, they you knew it was eventually going to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Like it had to. I still love, and this is where like we talked about AEW doing the little Easter eggs of things on last week's show, where it's like a Marvel movie where you see something, but it doesn't really fold out and play true for like 3 more movies. When Hangman came back after they cleared out the ring and everything, did you see how they were standing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was the same when the turn happened against him and he left. Like it's like, okay, I appreciate you going that far as paying attention to the little minute details in the story to get him to actually fold in line and stand with them across the ring.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the promo he delivered too. It was, to me, and that, so conspiracy theory thought on my end of things was, oh, Heyman's taking another shot at CM Punk because he's out there. We're the heart, we're the soul. This and that. I'm like, oh, he's definitely jabbing back at Punk again. But that's in the weeds, conspiracy, flat earth theorist type stuff. But no, I'm here for it. I think it'll Anarchy in the Arena. We'll see. You know, I don't want the comedy spots in that match. To me, this feud is too hot. There's too much bad blood between these 8 people that I don't need comedy spots during that match. Just let me go out there and beat the shit out of each other.
I still see the payoff of this being blood and guts. So I don't see Anarchy in the Arena being the payoff. I see that still coming with blood and guts.
You know, when I checked out, when Omega thought he was Captain America.
with the top.
You really put a trash can on as a shield.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
Well, he hit this. He hit. I think it was Yuta.
Yeah.
He
iced him with that shield. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That trash can had vibranium on it.
You know the Marvel theme music was playing in your head whenever it happened, Jason.
I used to do that. Yeah, everybody did something along those lines as a kid with the, whatever it was. Used to take
as a kid
the tubes from the wrapping paper. The tubes after the roll of wrapping paper was used up, and I'd use those as my swords for Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
gotta do with what you have.
You could have took the whole trash can. Fucking lame.
Do you think?
I think you would have been more pissed if he would have came out with a real Captain America shield, though.
Oh no! I think that's when Mr. Mouse comes into play.
Do you think they need to do anything else before the pay-per-view next weekend? Like we got the Hangman comeback, we got the association with the Elite, we got a nice strong promo from Hangman. Everybody's on page. The baby faces were standing tall, the heels were cowering backwards up the ramp. Like, do they need to do anything else this coming week? Or are you just invested?
For that match, I'm there right now. You came 10 minutes too late for that, bro.
Like, for me, I don't need to see nothing else between them.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Will they have another couple segments? Absolutely, because that's what they do.
Only thing they could do is just like a little vignette in the back, just talking. That's it. They don't need to touch or anything else. They touched enough.
Pause.
What's up with AEW and eye patches?
That eye patch was pretty sweet though. And
that one was.
Look,
but
hey, he's playing.
I think every feud said eye patch.
Like Aleister Black, he's playing it up. You know, it's not like Rey Mysterio where the fake eyeball popped out and then
next day he's normal.
He was back to seeing 20/20 vision the next night on Raw.
When we were kids, Jake Roberts got blinded by the Essence and acted blind for how many months? Come on,
because that was real.
It was real.
Speaking of that, I just found one of those pumps down in my basement.
Led to a blindfold match, absolutely.
I just found one of those pumps down in my basement.
Like a model one or like just a real
model pump? A real one, but
okay.
So you was walking around strutting your stuff in your tighty whities this week, huh? Little polo. Jay don't got a polo. He tied his Nike hoodie around his neck and was going around and spraying the essence.
Just need to give that pin. Yes, I am a model.
That's funny. All right, so we got the Elite BCC face off.
The things that go on in our lives were better than the entertainment in wrestling this week.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't as good as last week for me. Did I still enjoy stuff? Yeah, but I don't think like I wasn't. A lot of it was background noise for me this week. Like I had it on, I was doing other stuff, I was picking my head up watching stuff, but I wasn't fully invested in each show this week. So we'll see.
Before we move on, I do have a 1B this week, and I just want to give a quick shout out to them. I really enjoyed Pretty Deadly's match last night on SmackDown.
Oh, yes, boy.
Yeah, right.
The best tag team in all of wrestling right now.
It definitely gave me like I love the tie up in the ropes and everything. You know, it gave me like that old school wrestling feel like when we were kids. Like, I enjoyed that.
They both know a bloody something, mouth and lip or nose.
That freaking vignette package before the match, a little dash of Kit Wilson.
Like that's what screams everything that they do is like early '90s wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Said other than the bloodline, Pretty Deadly on SmackDown was the best thing.
Is that your Mount Rushmore?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, that was 1B was Pretty Deadly. No, but one is actually the women's tag match, Britt, Shida, Tony, and Ruby. Actually one of the women's matches that was actually fluid on all her moves, had me interested. Really, really enjoyed it. Just furthered the storyline even more. That was probably the best thing on AEW for me the whole week.
I saw a lot of people, saying that this week that they enjoyed that match the most.
Yes.
Jamie Hayter, apparently the injuries at work. It's not a shoot. It's not like Liv Morgan where she's really out. And kudos to Liv. Hopefully she comes back soon because that spot. I didn't like that spot last week, and as soon as it happened, I thought they both got seriously hurt, and I think they both got seriously hurt. Liv looks like a shoulder, and Dakota looks like a knee, which sucks for her because she's had knee injuries in the past. So hopefully she didn't do too much damage, but we'll see what happens and plays out there. In 2 weeks, they're doing the tournament, whatever. Fatal four-way, but the NXT women's tag team champs aren't involved in that. So what does that say about them? But all right, we'll digress. I'll hop on for that. So yeah, strong match. Really enjoyed it. I miss Shida being on TV each week. Like she is so damn good. It's unbelievable. Like,
and gets better.
And then
my only gripe was the picture-in-the-picture placement. Like they could have had that during like the interference because I wanted to see more of the match. But you've seen most of the match on picture-in-the-picture, which I'm getting tired of.
Yeah.
And then I thought Tony cut a great promo afterwards. Probably one of her best since she's been there. From like an emotional, fiery standpoint, like So yeah, if they're gonna run her and Jamie Hayter back at the pay-per-view, I'm cool with that.
I'm for it.
Save Soraya for All In, in Wembley to get, in the UK, get her a title shot there, which I think they'll do as long as she's healthy enough to compete. We'll see how that plays out with her. But yeah, the women this week, I'm not mad at that at all as far as the selection for Mount Rushmore. They definitely stood out. That was probably one of the brightest spots for me on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
So
probably for all AEW this week for me, that was the best spot.
I don't want to put the bloodline up here again because it is what it
That's
is.
an every week
thing. It's an every week thing, right? SmackDown wasn't too crazy about it last night. Kind of, Dynamite Wednesday, nothing really truly stood out. Raw was kind of the same. Cody cut his usual promo. I'm going to go off the beaten path, and I know nobody's going to notice because you people don't watch Impact Wrestling. But Dirty Dango and Joe Hendry have been lighting it up the last 3 weeks. And they did the reveal this week of who attacked Santino Morello. And
was it the real reveal, or was it who?
Yeah, it was the real review because it led to them having a match at Under Siege for Joe Henry's Digital Media Championship. So,
and you didn't send it over?
No, I didn't. I got to find the clip to send it to you, but
I don't.
So they've been running this bit. It's like Fashion Files-esque. It's Dango being quintessential Dango and everything else, but basically the reveal was this week that Dango was the one that took out Santino. and they found out because he accused Joe Hendry, and Joe got mad and they got into a tussle and ripped Dango's shirt, and he had a square of chest hair missing. And that was one of the pieces of evidence that somehow got lost in the evidence room. And so that's how it got, it was so simple, just cheesy pro
pure entertainment.
Pure entertainment. I loved everything about it. It led to a match. It was just this is what I like in pro wrestling.
At least there was a payoff.
Yeah, I mean,
is Under Siege this weekend, or is that next weekend?
I believe it's this Friday.
Okay,
I gotta double check the date. I believe it's this coming Friday.
Big weekend in wrestling next week.
I think it may be the following Friday, but yeah, I mean, it was just that title is a lower level title to begin with, but yeah, I just loved everything about it. Trinity did have a good match. Liking what she's doing right now. My 1B though is Lady Frost. Kudos to her. She had a hell of a match on ROH. She's facing Taya on Dynamite this week. Need to have her more on a national scale so more people can see her because she really
makes
good.
The rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a free agent right now and getting on every product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm hoping this gets her. I don't know if she wants to sign or whatnot, but she fits a good role in Ring of Honor. I want her and Athena to run it back because I love that match. And every time she's out there, she does something that blows my mind. Probably arguably one of the best moonsaults in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Her moveset's unique. She has a great presentation, great look. She stands out when you see her. And she's somebody that can be elevated. I don't think she got the just due and impact that she was supposed to get, and we're not going to dive into all those issues as to why that happened. But I'm glad she's back on her feet and finding her spot and going to get some national exposure because she's a woman with all these shows and expansions in AEW that you can elevate in a women's roster and get her on board with everybody else. So that's my 1B this week is Lady Frost. If you didn't see that match, go back and watch it. But yeah, Trinity, I'm not mad at that either, bro. She stood out so far in Impact. I like what she's doing. You know, mic work is what it is, but I'm not mad at her. From an in-ring perspective wise, I think she's done really well in Impact so far. So we'll see how long she's there for, because it's not, they still haven't announced how long she's signed for. A lot of rumors is it's through the summer, but
that's what Nick said his is. So you never know. It could be a similar contract. I think they should at least have them both booked through Bound for Glory. Get through that.
That would. Hopefully, that would be smart to get them through that. They're going to have Slammiversary coming up in a couple months. July that usually is, and then they'll be on the road for Bound for Glory, which usually is in October. And again, Impact, not stop sleeping on them. Like, they're doing great stuff, man. They got Trey Miguel and Chris Sabin are involved in a little feud right now for the X Division. Kazarian has his eyes set on the heavyweight title. We got Aldis in the heavyweight title. Steve Macklin's doing a hell of a job as a heel champion right now. So, like, I thought they might lose a lot whenever Alexander went out with his injury, just because of how much of an impact he's been to that company. But for me, they haven't missed a beat, which is awesome to say when one of your top guys or girls goes out for an extended period of time. All right. Before we get into positivity this week,
I was gonna say, before we get into the jabronis, give a shout out. Looked like your boy Richard Holiday's back in the ring and getting some of that rust off right now, so he can finally try to land on his feet wherever he ends up.
Yeah, the rarefied air. I'm a huge Richard Holiday mark. Love everything he does. Love the character. Real life just overcame a battle with, I believe it was lymphoma or leukemia. Not sure.
Yeah,
Don't
I forget which
kill
one.
me for getting that wrong. But just battled cancer, kicked its ass, and is back out there. So yeah, free agent. We'll see where he goes, what he does. He's one of those sneaky unsigned talents that a company can use and do really good things with.
And even while he was in MLW, was doing a lot of things down in Puerto Rico too. Was champ down there for a bit, so he has talent.
Yeah, him and Savio Vega had a really good feud in MLW for the Puerto Rican championship. They had a crazy strap match. If you go back on, I think, YouTube, you can find that somewhere.
Probably.
And watch that Caribbean strap match, which was really good. But yeah, looked like he was in line to take over for Hammerstone before he got diagnosed with cancer. And, obviously he had to put those plans on the back burner. So we'll see how that unfolds for him. But yeah, I am glad to see him back out there, on Twitter and everything else. So go out there, support him. He got a new shirt out, which part of the proceeds will go towards battling cancer. So if you see that, pick it up, add it to your merch collection there. Shameless plug for him. But yeah, no, really, really good story. A feel-good moment in pro wrestling for sure.
Always need that from time to time.
All right, well, now enough of the positivity. Let's get into the shit. Because as we're talking through this week in wrestling, I feel like, there was definitely more on the downside than the upside. Not trying to be a negative Ned in this situation, but kind of
yin and the yang. You need the good and the bad.
So where you want to go first?
Mine goes to WWE. Yulissa Leon just came back from knee surgery after 9 months, and her and Valentina Feroz are used as enhancement talent on SmackDown. Like, we don't know who they are on NXT. Like, they weren't a legit tag, and you just come up there and job it to the same people you were in the match with for titles.
That's Vince booking 101. You don't know who's on NXT.
It's true. Yeah,
I didn't catch that, but
straight squash match, no offense. I'm hot.
Yeah, not bad there.
You know it's bad when Jason has some shit to talk about. All right, I'm gonna go off of SmackDown last night. Did not enjoy the stuff that they were doing. Didn't hate AJ. I just hate the stuff that was involving him last night. I felt like I felt like the first Grayson Waller effect was very flat. Like I didn't enjoy that. And then it's like, 'cause right there, I was just like, okay, we have a face-off. So AJ's in the title picture, but now he's got beef with Grayson Waller. And then Karrion Kross cuts a promo on AJ. And I was just like, are they just killing that AJ's not winning this match? Like just on SmackDown last night, because it's like everything they have. Granted, they said now it's Karrion and AJ next week on SmackDown, so I don't think that'll carry over afterwards. But just like you're not suspending the disbelief that AJ has a chance for this in this title match right now.
I mean, rumors wise, they're suspending the disbelief more with the rumors because Seth is filming Captain America 4, and they're worried about him leaving and bolting for Hollywood. So do they want to put the belt on him? Given that in the background,
you don't have to have a long-term title reign. You can have him be the champion if that happens.
My beef more with what you brought up as a jabroni, because this was in line and in the running. It was more of you did Grayson Waller no favors. Jay, you brought up how they've handled the booking of NXT call-ups, and for the most part, they've all been good. Grayson Waller's was a complete dud.
Yeah.
They should have never brought up that Grayson Waller. I hate the Grayson Waller effect. Yeah. It's terrible. Just have him do his promos and everything else.
It was not enjoyable. It was not Grayson being Grayson. That's not how he is.
Yes.
And then you just had the awkward stare down at the end. Like it was
AJ threw the chair down and then they hit the music. It's just like
and it's with AJ, one of the least charismatic people.
Grayson didn't do his normal shtick. And that's not what I want out of him. Like he has potential to be a star, and I get it. You can't push everybody at the same time, obviously, but you have one chance to make one impression with the main roster. And last night did him no favors. So you put him behind the 8 ball immediately.
Are they continuing their beef from NXT? Because they made no reference to that.
Yeah, they didn't say anything.
Well, no, they touched on it a little bit in the beginning, with Grayson saying that AJ was down there and told him to be phenomenal and kind of went on that. But, I mean, Grayson called out the winner of the title match. But then last night, he felt like the least likely person to say anything to the guy who wins the heavyweight title match. Like, it's not a good look on their part for him.
No.
So,
my jabroni is shockingly it comes from NXT, but Mello, him being on like 3 segments within that time was like a little bit too much. It was like he came out with him and Trick calling out Breaker, then who was it, Dempsey and thing, but approached him. Okay, then the show runs on, and they come back out for the match, called out Breaker again. Breaker's little promo that he did in the barbershop, which I hated. He should have beat them all up for all that, except just sitting in the chair, just like what you guys looking at and all that stuff. Then cut the break again. Then Mello's still in the ring, and then they finally come out. It was just too much. And then their promo on each other in the ring was terrible. It did nothing for me for like the title, like for their pay-per-view or anything. The match for the pay-per-view. It was bad.
Always with the dad jokes.
Braun came out?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Braun came out. Yeah,
he came out.
You know what?
Spirit.
They went to commercial. I deleted it like it's over.
Yeah, and they both cut a terrible promo like on each other.
Well, good. Then I ain't missed nothing.
It was bad.
That's been consistent since their Stand Deliver promos. Like there hasn't been a promo that's really
they have not
quote unquote delivered for it.
And then this promo in the barbershop thing. Breaker, I mean, he going around and he's killing all the talent around in the ring and everything, but he lets nobody just be like, hey, guys, what's going on and that stuff. Like, no, they should have been laid out. They should have panned out. All of Mello's people should have been laid out on the ground. They'd be like, yeah, did you feel something on that? Just their whole thing on Tuesday was terrible.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. And Braun's logic for what he's doing and saying doesn't even make sense. One week he's saying he doesn't want the title, doesn't need the title. And then this week he's like, I want the title because you have the title. And it's like, well, do you want the title or not, dude? Like, what is it? I want this to be over with immediately.
Yeah.
Like, run its course, get it over with, get Braun out of the NXT roster, have him move up, which he's now supposedly coming up around SummerSlam time. So we'll have some more of Braun in NXT. But, like, I'm not interested in rewatching a match between these two.
No.
It hasn't been good. It hasn't been entertaining. I'm over it.
So the feud we've been looking for, both of them end up on Jabroni this week. Waller and Mello.
Yes.
Was a feud we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're both on Jabroni in the week.
And this hasn't been since Mello started this feud with Braun. He hasn't been the Mello everybody enjoys. So he hasn't, like, he's not like the normal self that, you know, has brought us in to becoming fans of him. Like, he's just this storyline has done nothing.
But that's the problem.
He came to the promo to me.
Yeah, that's the problem with going from the cool, cocky, arrogant tweener to being a true babyface.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard transition.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do it. So you have him going from that cool, arrogant, cocky tweener that got over, that everybody was behind, and get it off the true babyface in Braun. And now he's in that role. And you figure the heel Braun would help bring it out more, but it's just fell flat. And the more this is dragged on week over week, the worse it's gotten.
It is.
So I don't even know how they can salvage it between now and their next show, which is here in a couple weeks, right? 2
Next
weeks
Sunday.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Next Sunday? Yeah.
So they have this week and then the event.
Just do nothing. Yeah, but just do something like vignette or something. Like, I don't need to see you guys in the ring at all until the match.
And him hitting Braun with the title this week, that kind of felt like the last moment before match. So yeah, I don't want to see anything either.
It was just all off this week. So Chris and Donald, you both had stuff that I had in the running for that. So since you guys both brought that up, I'm gonna go with option C. And this isn't the Impact option C where you cash in the X Division title for a world title match. My option C is Asuka and Bianca.
That's another.
This has been.
It is.
There was nothing after WrestleMania, and then last week you get missed in the face. This week you get semi-missed in the face. Segment ends, and then it's, here's the announcement for the match at Night of Champions. What? I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Was I asleep at the wheel for 3-4 weeks? Like, what has gone on to run this back to make it a title match? You cannot do this to these two. Like, I can understand other people, but there's no reason why you can't come up with a legitimate story for these two to run it back. I missed it. Exactly.
There's a t-shirt.
If the title's changing hands, it's going to be even worse. Because it was just like no build. No.
So you're gonna have Asuka go into Mania, lose at Mania with that match that some people liked, others didn't. Be off TV for how long?
Did nothing.
Not even associated with anything.
Yeah.
Come back, spray new blue enhanced mist that has jalapeno seeds and red paper flakes in it to cause it to burn more, which is why Bianca was
oversold.
Which is why Bianca was screaming the way she was. And then all of a sudden now you have a match.
If they do give the title to Asuka at Night of Champions, then you're just saying all we did was have Bianca win at WrestleMania just so she can hit that milestone. Like, nothing other than that.
And did they switch the belts?
No, not yet.
Mm-hmm. No.
So Bianca still has the Raw belt.
The Raw belt on SmackDown.
Rhea still has the SmackDown belt
on Raw.
Yep.
Even more as to why it's Jabroni of the week.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they haven't just swapped the belts because I hate that story.
Yeah.
WWE's like, you didn't see this. You didn't see this. You're not seeing this.
They do address it though, which is good. They they're all confused too. So
they just need to figure out a workaround for it.
Yeah,
just keep it like that.
Like instead of putting Bianca on SmackDown right now, say, hey, she's the Raw champion, so she's staying on Raw, and then if she loses the belt, then she'll be on SmackDown or something.
Hey, we're just called the one belt, the Women's World Championship. It'll be okay.
The Women's World Heavyweight.
There you go.
I mean, to me, it's just it's like, okay, you still don't know how to book Asuka.
True.
And you're running out of stuff for Bianca.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had her booked perfectly when she came back.
Who, Asuka? When she came back from the Rumble?
Yeah. Up through Mania. Yeah.
Like, but now it's like, what are we doing? And you can't have her come back out there and take another loss.
If you do, you might as well just give her release.
Yeah.
You might as well.
So what? You're going to run some funky finish and then have them run it back again?
Does nobody again? Does everybody disservice in that instance?
I hated everything about that last night. And to me, it was just like the thing that put it, as soon as they announced the graphic for the championship match, I was like, yeah, no, this is trash. This makes no sense. Mm-hmm. No sense at all. Like they've done more with Rhea and Natty than what they've done with Bianca and Asuka. And all they've done with Rhea and Natty is have them two stare at each other.
Stare down. Why are you picking on Dana?
Because people care about Dana.
Like, get out of here, man. Why are you picking on? Come on. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm over that. So not very entertaining with that this week. So yeah, it looks like we had NXT, SmackDown, and SmackDown. All WWE this week for Jabroni of the Week.
AEW could have got some too, but
got some more.
AEW could definitely got some.
I strongly my other consideration. I did have 4 options for Jabroni of the Week. The whole Sammy Guevara as a babyface, it's not going to work.
No, should have been over a few weeks ago.
People were like, "Oh, he's getting cheered. It's amazing. Look at this turn, and he came out for the save." And I'm like, "They're in Texas, you dumbasses. It's his home state. Like, yeah, he's going to get cheered there, right?" But the fact that whole segment was another reason to put on Jabroni of the Week. Why would Darby Allin and Sammy come out to save Jungle Boy? If you're facing him in a fatal 4-way match, let him get his ass beat. Why are you coming out to save him?
And he was definitely getting his ass beat, boy. Some of them bumps.
That's a TK book in there.
Is Rooster safe working, boy?
On top of that, Jungle Boy almost died. He's like, we gotta. We're not even gonna get into that bump, but like, let's tone that down 1,000 notches because that's ridiculous. But that match booking, to me, Jungle Boy wasn't the person getting the title shot. It was Roosh. That was 95-5, Roosh's favor. He came out like, yo, I want to see him in the fatal 4-way, not Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy got his ass whooped. He don't even stand a chance against MJF and everybody else in that match.
It just seemed like that whole pillar storyline was taking a nosedive for me. It's just like it fell off a lot. Still interested in seeing it, but it's just like it's going down.
Like I said, why would you come out to make the save? So we can have 3 good guys against 1 MJF? Is that what we're trying to go for?
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Well, it should be more 2-on-2.
And just for that, just so everybody can get pissed, I hope Sammy goes out there and does take the lay down. That would be more entertaining. You did all this work, all AEW, all access, and these intricate promos and these packages, and then the babyface save last week. I hope he goes out there and just lays down for MJF and takes the check and runs away with Ty. Like, I mean, that would be more entertaining than having a 3 babyface versus 1 kill champion match.
We cannot do the finger poke of doom again.
Yeah, that was.
It'll be the pinky ring poke of doom.
The way Rampage
doesn't make it better.
The way Rampage ended was terrible too.
Oh,
Swerve doing the stomp on Keith Lee while he was sitting in the chair. Oh, man.
Rampage came on?
Mm-hmm. It was on early.
He was on early.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the match, though. I thought Dustin, I enjoyed the match.
The match was good, but just that ending. Just you end it like that. Hey, Keith.
I will say,
Keith, set up.
Brian Cage hitting an F5 on Keith Lee was like fucking ridiculous.
It's a big boy.
It's a big boy to put up there.
That's a big boy to put up there.
So yeah, there was. It wasn't a good week. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, over as we talk. I tried to come in here positive, positive Pete.
Why do you think I picked the Battle
Royal? Yeah, you were right, Jay. You were absolutely right to put the Battle Royal on the Mount Rushmore after looking back at it.
I can say half the Battle Royal, not the first part, where everybody was just throwing everybody out just for no reason. It's your turn to get thrown out. It's your turn to get thrown out.
You got to get maximum male models out. That's all.
I did like the way Orange Cassidy set up the Battle Royal for the pay-per-view for the international title. I like that. Negative mark. Yeah. All right, so that's Mount Rushmore and Jabroni of the Week this week. Hit us up on social media. Let us know who's your Mount Rushmore and who's your Jabroni of the Week, and let us know what we got right, what we got wrong. With that being said, what do we got as far as a game this week?
All right, this is my week, so I did another what if. And what if TNN and the original ECW actually had a great working relationship during ECW's first network deal? What would ECW's future look like and all ramifications from that?
I'll go here. Even if the relationship was a good working relationship, ECW would not have worked on regular television. You couldn't, no matter how good the working relationship was, you weren't going to be able to show and have week-to-week television to provide the true essence of what ECW was. It just wasn't going to come across on cable television that way. Between the blood, the gore, the storylines, the cat calls, the women fights, the scantily, it just was not going to work on television, even in that era of television. So yeah, I don't think it would have worked out regardless of the relationship between the network and ECW. But the network definitely kiboshed it and caused it to flatline sooner than what it could have flatlined. But I don't think it would have worked regardless.
If it would work, would TNN would have been talking to WWE still? Because during that, they were talking to WWE to put Raw on their programming.
Basically testing the waters with ECW.
I think ECW was the pawn to get WWE to come over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they ever wanted ECW. I think it was ECW was the springboard to get WWE on their network.
But if WWE would have said no, if they would have stayed on USA Network instead, and TNN and ECW would have worked together, even if the product would have been toned down, at least that would have kept some funds going for ECW. That's what they needed. They needed that TV deal. So I'll play the devil's advocate of TV deal works out. They still had TNN each week. They had hardcore TV. I think ECW would have evolved over time. Like it could probably would have turned into what, not exactly the same, but probably something similar to a Ring of Honor. And I don't think Ring of Honor would have formed because of that. I think ECW would have still stayed.
Yeah.
Whether TNA would have formed, that could be an interesting thing because it wasn't the same. But I think ECW, I think Paul would have gotten more of the cruiserweights from WCW after they closed up and focused a little bit more on that. And brought in some of that younger talent that WCW was trying to do. It wasn't working at that point.
like hindsight being 2020 and looking at everything that transpired, ECW was just the Nirvana to grunge. Like it was what it was, and you couldn't change it. And being on national television, even though that was the goal for them, like it would have changed it. And I don't think when it changed, it would have been for the better. Like,
and I think Paul leaving, ECW closing and Paul leaving, I think that because now Paul talks about how, in hindsight, he wouldn't do the chair shots that he did back in the day and all that kind of stuff off of what we know. And, and it's easy to say that in hindsight.
Yeah, it's easy to say that now.
And, knowing what we know with everything, but, had he kept it going, would they have still been doing that? Would they just become obsolete because people didn't want to watch that long term?
I think you grow out of it.
Not everything's meant to be mainstream.
Yeah. That is true.
Like you can look across the board in different genres and different things. Like not everything is meant to be mainstream, and I feel like that's the problem with things is that everybody wants to be mainstream instead of just looking at your place in the market and being happy and content with that. Like if ECW never would have tried to get on national television and everything else, would the product have lasted and whatnot, money running out? Who knows? But because the business model was different. Like if ECW was born into existence today with streaming and platforms and everything else, there would be no need for network TV. And ECW, I think, would thrive right now.
Yeah.
Right?
GCW.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but like, not everything needs to be mainstream, and we see it with we've seen it play out time and time again. And sometimes that's the worst thing you can do for your product, service, whatever, is try to take it mainstream, because then it changes and it loses the luster and the aura that surrounds it, that makes it important and people being invested in buying it, watching it, telling others about it, whatever the case may be. So am I happy they got on network TV? Yeah, but at the same time,
it did.
It was that was the death blow, was them getting on network TV.
It was never the right fit.
Mm-mm.
And you can go back to episode 1 of that whenever they aired a pay-per-view match.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Was what it was. So, anybody got anything else as far as what if? Nope. Anything else in pro wrestling this week?
I think we covered it, at least on my end.
Roman said there's family out there, or there's more family out there at in the SmackDown. Your thoughts?
I caught that, and it didn't really, like, at first it was just like something that was like glossed over, you know what I mean? Like said what he said, and then I was like, wait a second. Who else is there?
Tama Tonga showing up.
Hey, Nia Jax.
But do you need?
It ain't Trinity.
Do you need to add anybody?
I
mean, after the solo bump, I don't know what's what.
So I don't
know. You know what it is. Since the XFL did success, Rock gonna come in and he gonna say, "Yeah, Roman's my tribal chief."
I'll stop watching wrestling.
I love the bump to a point, but just like I just like Roman just kept kind of like looking back. I just wish he would just like kind of like tapped him on the shoulder, like it's all good, big man, it's all good.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt this week was that WWE has Solo and Gunther pegged as top heels for the next 5+ years. on either brand.
Solo is a top heel?
Yeah.
I'm okay with both of those.
No,
I don't mind it, but I mean, I enjoy Solo as a face too.
You know, Cena said something interesting on Busted Open this week, and real quick, we'll touch on this real quick, and then we can wrap up the show. Cena was on Busted Open with LaGreca and Bully Ray talking about everything in pro wrestling, career, this and that, saying his body just can't do it no more, and kind of what you got out of him at Mania was what it was, and that's all he has left. Like, and he doesn't want to make a bad product, so he knows he's like almost done from an in-ring standpoint. But he brought up Roman and talked about Roman as far as Roman being different and separate, and comparing his run to Roman's run. And the big difference was that Cena said, I could only help the person that I was against. So whether or not you thought I was burying people or elevating people, that's on you. I know the time that I put in with everybody. And he brought up the example with Austin Theory, like, hey, you know, we sat down in the entire day and went over why we're doing this, why I'm saying this and that. Same thing with Kevin Owens. Said I've taken the time. Now, whether or not they took that energy and that starting point and carried it on was up to them, and you can debate that till the sun comes up. But he said the thing that makes Roman stand out and makes him even greater than his run or anybody else's run, Roman's energy, for lack of a better word, it touches and affects a ton of people at the same time. Roman not only elevates the person that he's in the ring with or in the main story with, but Roman is elevating 7, 8, 9, 10 people at the same time, and has been during this entire run. And to him, he feels that is the most I don't want to say misguided, but missed aspect of what Roman's run is doing right now is the amount of people that he's elevating just based off of his own energy and appearance. To not be on the show each week and still having your energy and presence felt to where you're impacting multiple people, he said it's never been seen before. It's never been done. So you can argue that he is the greatest right now, and when it's done, could argue he's the greatest of all time based off of that. Thoughts on those words from John Cena?
That's the corporate answer. That's good guy John right there.
You think that's corporate Cena?
That's good guy John right there. Yeah.
What? Why do you feel that's corporate Cena?
I mean, John's never going to be the guy that's just been like, he's not that type of guy that's going to be like, I'm the best of all time. You know, no one can touch me type person. You know, that's not him. So, and he's doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're over. You put over the guy that's over right now. Flair did it to Cena, and still does, you know, to an extent. But now I think Flair has kind of started doing it for Roman more. It's what you're supposed to do, like with these guys. Like you're supposed to put over the next generation. I think that's what he's doing, and I'm not going to shit on it or anything. But there haven't been groups in the past, like saying that it's never been done before. There's been plenty of groups in the past that are to put up multiple people over.
Not at this level.
Not at this level.
Evolution wasn't there.
Yeah, I'd put H up there.
4 Horsemen.
But they were never
Horseman was if you were Dusty or if you were Magnum, like yes, but the 4 Horsemen weren't elevating multiple people just from Flair's presence being there or not. Like Roman's fingerprints are literally in so many places just because of it being Roman right now. In this version of Roman. That's where I think Cena was going. Like Cena was saying, like he came into his own and molded his own niche and his own outline to where he doesn't need to be there every single week to elevate multiple talents at one time.
But is that Roman getting the talent over? That's the talent getting over. I mean, the talent's put in the work.
So without Roman being that foil, the talent's not going to be elevated like they are. If Roman's not there, is Sammy where Sammy is now? Is Jay where Jay is now? Is Jimmy where Jimmy? You know what I mean? Like you can go on down the list. KO. Like
I think Kevin would still be. Kevin would still be where he's at. I think he was always at that high level with the fans.
Like we're still bitching. People are still bitching about Cody losing to Roman. Great shirt, by the way, last night. People are still bitching about Cody being Roman. They haven't touched since Mania. And you're how many weeks later? Like I don't think that's been done to this extent by a champion. Like Cena was great. Cena's run was great. Mm-hmm. As champion and US champion, but like you said, it was only for the individual that he was going against at that time. You don't get the multiverse branches breaking off with the Cena. Go ahead, Pro. If you say CM Punk in this segment, I'm dropping you off.
Hey, he put CM Punk over.
So you don't buy into anything that Cena said there. And I'm paraphrasing, so you may want to go back and listen to it because the podcast is available for that interview. They put the whole interview out there.
I think Cena did what he was supposed to do. And
I'm indifferent. It is what it is. Just keep bringing me the story.
Check the interview out. It was a lot of good stuff there. And you can
even elevated Paul.
You can see if it's corporate.
You say he elevated Paul.
He even elevated Paul
for you.
For you.
Paul elevated Roman.
All right. Anything else for episode 136 of the Dumb Marks podcast?
I'm good.
Did y'all want to touch on that debuts?
Any other than Pretty Deadly? Any debuts in there that you really?
No, the top 10.
Oh,
list. If that's a debate,
we can table that. We can table that.
That's why I didn't respond.
That list was
because I got heat over that list.
Yeah, we can tell that's a 15-minute conversation in of itself. We'll table that till next time.
Check out for my game next week.
There he goes. Not doing the group project. Already got it handed to him.
Somebody already gave him the idea.
Turning in the assignment. He'll change up the graphic.
My name on the top.
Just write his name on it. Yeah. Hand it in. He's that guy that has like the older sibling that was like 2 grades ahead, and he just took his paper and turned it in with his name on it, and the teacher was like, I know I've read this before. Did your brother turn this in? No, this is all me, teach. This is all me.
Now he put it in ChatGPT just to change it slightly.
Yeah.
But forgot to change the date. This is 2 years before.
The blip happened. It was already done.
Yeah, the blip. All right. Well, are you doing the sign off before the quote of the week, Chris? Or no?
We had a good week. I can do the sign off.
Are you doing it, or are you putting the female?
I want the female voice.
I got it.
Movie trailer.
She gets paid for appearance.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow us all on our social media channels at DumbMarksPod. Please head over to Spotify and listen to the show. We need to get those numbers up so we can help your boys out by making some money for this show. Spotify. And then purchase the merch. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod. Help support your boys even more on there, too. Whatever you can do to help support this show and get things growing for us.
No doubt. You buy a shirt, we'll shout you out live on air. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us each and every single Saturday. But yeah, we need to get these numbers up. So if you see a friend, tell a friend, be a friend, get them to come on over and join your boys. multiple ways to watch the show. So yeah. All right. With that being said, quote of the week this week. Again, we're still in May, so Mental Health Awareness Month still going on. So with that being said, quote of the week this week is: worrying is carrying tomorrow's load with today's strength. Worrying is carrying tomorrow's load with today's strength. So chew on that one for a little bit. I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark, and until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.